Chief People Officers, have you got leaders with the potential to become chiefs? Hopefully you do, and if you do, the question is probably what's going to get them from the leader level where they are now to the chief level that they have the potential to become. Well, I want to offer to you an approach that I found is really useful in helping leaders do just that, to take that next step up to the chief level. In truth, it's actually really helpful in helping chiefs take their next level, to step up to their next level of leadership. But let's talk about it in the context of leaders who are preparing or wanting to get up to that chief level. And the concept is what I call leading beyond attainment. And it may sound a little counterintuitive, but let me explain. For your leaders to be where they are, to be in the position where they are now, ready to, or with the potential to, step up to that chief level, they've probably had a really powerful drive toward attainment. And that's a good thing. That's got them to where they are. It's a really strong impetus toward achieving, toward succeeding, toward performing. And it's a great thing. There's lots of good stuff that happens as a result of that, and it's what's got them to where they are now. The challenge is that it can also bring with it some unhelpful behaviors. The kinds of things like, for instance, a tendency towards burning out, towards burnout, that kind of always on, always striving mode. Or indeed things like kind of siloed ways of working, where they can tend to be maybe a bit territorial. Not sure if I'm spelling that right. In that focus on succeeding, on that focus on my own performance, that can lead me to be quite narrow in my own lane, in the way I think, in the way I work, quite protectionist even. And the kind of paradox of that is that it can actually lead towards under-attainment. So in that striving to achieve, I can actually promote some behaviors that lead toward under-attainment. And so what I found is that it's really useful to help your leaders shift from, or hold a little more lightly, that striving toward attainment, and move to working and leading with a mindset that's beyond attainment. And some really nice things happen when we do that. Essentially, you're leading beyond your own ego at that point. And you will naturally, from that place, you'll naturally do things like work cross-functionally, because you're no longer so anxious, if you like, about your own performance. So it's easier to start looking at how can I bring other people into this. It's much easier to get above the kind of noise of the immediate demands and think strategically. It's much easier to bring people with you as a leader. A lot of good things happen when you can start to release some of this striving to attain and understand that your success as a leader is actually to move beyond that and lead and operate from this place where you're beyond an anxiety about the attainment. And now here's the really great news about it, and the paradox, if you like, is that when we do that as leaders, we actually improve the attainment. The results tend to be better when we're leading from that place. So it's counterintuitive, but it's very effective. It's also perhaps easy to say, and intellectually we can understand, but it can be really quite hard to do it, because the truth is that the kind of impetus that's leading to this behavior comes from some very powerful, ingrained drivers or motivations that we may not even be aware of. So it's worth taking the time to understand what those are, to understand who you are and what you're really about, which is here, and to be able to shift from that to this. And that's a great way to up level, to move from that leader to that chief mode of operation.